Something is calling us. Something's calling me. And it's not just my cell phone. Anyone ever pocket dial anyone? I know I've received those from people here. The thing is to answer that call. And good morning, how are you?
Good morning.
Fantastic. Good answer. Fantastic. And I was driving down Paradise Boulevard, and they have all that construction for those pathways they've been putting in so we can have a really good time on Paradise Boulevard. I've seen people in strollers and bicycles and people holding hands. And then there were these two construction guys that they finally found out that they could just take a break, and because the shovel could stand up by itself, that they didn't, they could just take a break. And when they were taking this break, they had their lunchbox open. And the one guy says, "Oh no, not peanut butter and jelly again." So the one guy says to the other guy, he says, "Well, why don't you have your wife make you something better?" He says, "Oh, I'm the one who fixes my lunch." And we could all make some changes. That's the topic today. We could make some changes. Take a new stroll down Paradise Boulevard. We could make something else. Something is calling us to be even more scrumptious than a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And change is meaningful because I am here in it. I am in it, and it's so meaningful. Change is always going on. So we can try something other than a PB&J, although that is good comfort food. We may try the portobello or something that tastes just like chicken or something that's better. But change is always going on, and there's something that is scrumptious that's possible. Dr. Ernest Holmes says that our bodies are rivers flowing, and I was totally reminded of that up at the Haymass yesterday, celebrating Joe and John's wedding, and it was a beautiful gathering up at the Buddhist Center up there, and such a delight to be with that river flowing, and I see their love just flowing, and we'll have a celebration for them soon. And it's amazing. We can just take a moment and feel the energy that we are. I could feel the love at the Haymass. I could feel the love of the river, the love of those spaces between the leaves and the trees yesterday. So Dr. Ernest Holmes, who's the founder of the Science of Mind, which is a guide for spiritual living, says our bodies are always flowing. And so let's just take a moment and feel that energy is flowing. The divine energy is forever flowing, and that we can open up. We can just open up to that energy. And what we do with this energy is we distribute it throughout our bodies, and it flows out into everything that we do. It's who we are, and it flows out just like the Haymass Springs. So flow is always happening. We're in the flow of life, of love. Something's calling us. This greater yet to be. It's seeking to express. It's its nature to just express through us in that free-flowing good. So nothing is static. And we wouldn't want static anyways. You turn in the radio, you want the fine tune of that divine energy to come across clearly and powerfully and present. So nothing is static and everything is flowing, except sometimes we try and hold on. We hold on to that. The river's going by, but we try and hold on to some things that we do. And to keep things the same. And I remember saying to myself years ago when I was graduating from college, and I said, I love change. I just don't want anything to be different. I just don't want anything to be different. But I love change. I love to travel the world. I love to meet new people and to really connect and engage with people and to just enjoy the moment. Much like the celebration by the river yesterday. If we outpicture the same old, we keep picturing in a stuck way, rather than flowing like that river. And Dr. Ernest Holmes also says that spirit is forever taking on the form and deserting form. So that there's that visible and that invisible, and then that which is visible becoming invisible. So the shift is always taking place. And the Buddhists know this. The Buddhists say that form is no other than emptiness, and emptiness is no other than form. So there's that space that's calling us, that from which everything originates. There's behind every form, there's that space, that emptiness. And out of emptiness comes form. Reverend Dr. Kathy Hearn says that we are asked to make friends with change. Making friends. Reverend Dr. Kathy Hearn is someone who had led the movement for about 10 years, and we hope to have a co-creation process with her. It'll be rescheduled, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. But when do we know that we're ready for a change in our life? When do we know? Well, we know we're ready for a change when, and notice I didn't say 100 changes. We don't have to do all 100 things at once, but we're ready for a change. One change. When we say to ourselves, oh my, is this all that there is? Or we think the grass is greener. Or I'll be happy when. So what would we like to change about ourselves? We asked that question last week. What would we like? What would we like more of, and what would we like less of? I had left a job at the height of a career, and I really enjoyed it, and I had done a lot of wonderful work with nonprofit groups, and it was a thing I was called to be elsewhere. And what it was just that, like, leaning and listening. Something was calling me, leaning and listening into that infinite one, that infinite presence, and leaning into that divine infinite one. It was that forward movement where my talents and my gifts and my capabilities, all those abilities could be used, and I had done really, really well, and done well for a lot of people. And so there was just something that was calling me to be engaged. And so here I am with you, and with a few things in between, and here I am with you. And sometimes change is happening, and it could be a relationship, it could be a job, and it's easy to fall into whatever, if there's an effect too, if we're feeling at effect, or we've fallen into something that there's pain, or that it seems like the choice has been made for us. Even as we say yes, sometimes we're in circumstances that say that this choice is made for us, and oftentimes when we initiate the change, we experience those steps of choice. That there's those steps, those thoughts, those feelings, those beliefs in thoughts. And what's common in both those areas, if we're perceiving that some choice has been made for us, or if we're perceiving that we're making the choice, what's the common factor? It's you. It's me. That's the common factor. So, and then how I reveal my wholeness in that situation, so the greater wholeness of who we are comes forth into that expression with nothing held back. Like the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, that we're not stuck with that menu. So we can spice it up, or we can try something new. We can have some new beginnings. We can have that greater expression of wholeness. And our teaching says that we're whole already. And that there's nothing broken or missing. And I invite us to say that in me there is nothing broken and nothing missing. Do you want to try that on? In me there's nothing broken and nothing missing. As we walk this path to wholeness, we know that we're the common denominator. And we're not too common. We're not normal. We're unique. We're unique in our expression. And this teaching says that we are whole and that we are unique. And I invite us to say that all is well and I am whole. All is well and I am whole. So as we're deepening our faith and revealing the wholeness, we're knowing that we're complete, that we come as this complete package in whatever direction that we're going. And it's just like the seed of the apples. These apples, I have some wonderful apple trees. Live in a place with the orchards, and I never know about the pears, if they're going to have enough water, or they're going to fall off early, or if their blossoms are going to hang in through whatever cold we're having. But the apples, they already contain all within it to be what a fully blossomed apple is. It comes as that, and you have that God seed too. All that is necessary for the full blooming of the soul, knowing that it's nourished by all those elements, knowing that it is the blooming of who we truly are. So in our awakening, in our change, there is the choice to be this fullest possible expression. Wouldn't that be wonderful to wake up every day and say, I'm going to be the fullest possible expression in my life, as the creativity, as the joy, as the love. And knowing that we're sowing seeds of greatness and that we're making some changes, we can allow the inspiration, we can allow the divine guidance, whether it's a new journey of an adventure, whether we're traveling, whether we're sharing with others, whether it's a new relationship with our health. We have a relationship with our health and our wellness and our fitness. Whether we have a new union, we have a spiritual intimacy that's called marriage. We have ways of following spirit and being led after a transition of a loved one. And the ways that we approach that. And the way that we surround ourselves with friends who love us. And we have whatever this commitment is, to be resourceful. And to be in the flow with our finances. To be in the flow with our inner peace. And to make time for that self-care. That something is calling us toward that fuller expression. And there was someone who, she was a concert pianist, and she had wanted a piano at home so that she could practice. And so what she did a little spring cleaning. She made the space where it had a window, and she could compose all these wonderful things and practice what she wanted to do, so that when she performed, she would have that talent honed in and fine-tuned. And lo and behold, she received a call from a friend of a neighbor. It was a friend of a friend. This neighbor says, I've got to move. And I don't know what to do with this. It was a baby grand. I don't know what to do with this baby grand piano. Do you know anyone? This is like out of the blue. Blocks away, right there in her backyard. And it was like just handed to her, here, take this baby grand piano. And so anything is possible. Same thing when I chat with people, they say, well, I'd like to increase my business, or I'd like more clients. And I say, well, show me your calendar. Are there spaces in your calendar for more clients? Do you have a way to process credit cards? And this one gal, she went out and got everything hooked up, cleared spaces on what her dream, fulfilling her dream. And she had $800 the next week in clients. Just clearing. They call that a mental equivalent. Emmett Fox coined the term mental equivalent in the New Thought movement. We place that mental idea as an equivalent thought. We plant the seed, much like the apple seed, that those seeds already have that originating idea, which can come to fruition and blossom. So last week we talked about activation energy and allowing for change. Did anyone do that? Did anyone wake up 30 minutes? 30 minutes? 30 minutes? Everyone's raising their hand. 30 minutes? Did you stay up 30 minutes longer? Did you wake up 30 minutes earlier? So activation energy is that impulse. If you act upon it, have inspired action, to take action on those ideas, much like those seeds that are planted. Activation energy, it's a chemical term, and so that we activate that energy. And so if we wake up 30 minutes earlier, it allows us to just land and have that energy flowing and give us that extra time to set the intent for the day. Also, we talked about that 5-second rule. If we don't act upon something, we have an idea, maybe, hey, we'll get up and dance. Hey, we'll get up and go hug a friend across the room. If we don't do something and we just sit there, if we don't do something, we don't have that activation energy. So 5 seconds, there's that 5-second rule. Did anyone notice that? Yes. Cool. And you did the 4 agreements with your students this week? Yes?
I sure did.
Awesome. Awesome. Our greater community is benefiting by our community. So next Friday, we have an opportunity to forward our vision and to do some healing. And we can deepen our faith in healing and revealing of this wholeness. And so we're going to have some drumming, and we have a moving in more freedom in our life. And it's just for an hour. So it's better than a movie. If you want to come, it'll be here, and it's at 7 o'clock. It's First Fridays. It's a sacred service. It's a healing, revealing service. And it starts this Friday, just on the first Fridays of the month. And Stephen Scoff will come over and do some drumming with us. You're welcome to bring just yourself, bring a friend, bring an instrument if you like to do that. So many of us recognize that there's been some turbulent time here at the center, and for ourselves and for our membership. And so there's a unique moment in the consciousness, in this movement of consciousness that we're all a part of. So we're in that stream, much like the river. The river is flowing, and it's good, and it's delicious, and it's refreshing. And so today can be the recognition of that time, and that we can acknowledge that. And today, we have an amazing opportunity for this center to grow in a fresh new way, to know that there is that cleansing and that purifying, and that is within ourselves, and that it's moving in a fresh new direction, that there's a freshness. And being up in the Hayman's yesterday, I was so amazed with the colors, and there's so much color in our life, and there's so much beauty, and the sky is so vast. And even though it was cloudy, I knew the sun was shining, and that the sun came out when it was a great time to relax. And that new direction is possible as we acknowledge. We acknowledge that the community is in transformation. So having that we're all individually and collectively valuing at the deepest level of our deepest nourishment, our deepest level, that we bring value. And that, yes, we have value in a pure spirit right here and right now. So we're acknowledging that, and to deeply value this teaching, and to deeply value the practices that work well in our life, and to deeply value that we have this pathway. We have a pathway that's given to us. We're accepting this gift of this pathway, and to travel in a smooth sailing way, in new harmony, have a new sense of harmony, and to have a soft place to land. We have a safe and respectful and supportive environment, and those that wish to share our experiences and to be deeply heard, and for all of us to acknowledge each other. I see us doing that on Sundays. I see us doing that in classes, and to be, wherever that's appropriate, to be accountable for our own life. So through each of those opportunities, we can speak our truth, and knowing that healing and revealing wholeness is our nature. And that there is peace, that there is absolutely peace at the center. There's peace at the center, and there is a vision for us individually in unique expressions to be fully expressed as we are. We're also creative. And to have that revealed for our community as well. So I mentioned the co-creation process, and it was scheduled for Memorial Day weekend. And so we received good news this week as far as our time slot was given to another community. So I'm seeing that as a good indicator. It's an indication of good, that we're stabilizing and ready to be resilient and thrive and grow and blossom, much like that's inherent in that seed. So I see that there's that resilience and the stabilizing, and we're poised. We're absolutely poised for flourishing in our lives as we take this to heart in our own lives, and then share that as a natural progression. So anyone who considers themselves a leader, or anyone who we're all invited and encouraged to attend, so just stay tuned for more information. And it can only benefit our personal life of transformation, and our lives as we have the world be a better place. So it's an invitation to explore new possibilities today, right here, that something is calling us. And there is this infinite, divine presence which we can lean into and move forward with and have it be through us. And knowing that we're dedicated to being even more fully alive and discovering this inner power, to access these spiritual tools for transformation. They're here. We just access them more often. And our new leadership is so amazing that we're being spirit-centered, vision-centered, and mission and purpose-focused, and knowing that that's our beacon, that's our guiding light. And to just honor people who we may see at Sprouts, honor people who we may meet for coffee, honor our extended family, continue to honor people who are part of our family and our extended family. And our experiences, our spiritual experiences on a day-to-day basis, they guide us into that inspired action where we do activate that energy, where we can thrive and we continue to grow together as love, as abundance, as acceptance. And this whole weekend was a synthesis of spiritual experiences. Started off with, I could have taken my earplugs. I started off at the Gathering of Nations, and it was, I guess, preparation for drumming next Friday. It was amazing. So many colors of 2,000 plus dancers and singers, and celebrating their own sacred practices and expressions, and amazing. Just the magnitude of that celebration. And I called some of my Native American friends, and just it was beautiful to share. It was beautiful to share what was going on and to catch up with their family, because they're kind of like an extended family too. So she was telling me what she was cooking and what ceremonies they're looking for. And so it's like I was having that experience, and then I was also having the experience of her family having that experience. And it's kind of what we do here too. We have this experience here as family, and we take that into our experience with our friends and our neighbors and our family. And I just love that whole circulation of all those possibilities and exploring that. Also, the synthesis of this weekend it was about celebrating John and Joe's union at the Bodhi Manda Center, which is just nestled in the mountains up there at the Jemez. And there was so much joy, and people had flown from all over to celebrate their love. And it was topped off by an energy recharge at the hot springs. So to just know that there's that energy which is flowing in so many ways, and just those vistas, it was almost so beautiful I didn't even want to take pictures. It was. And you'll see some of the pictures, you'll see some of the pictures today in Joe and John's ceremony. And what I see in here is, so the gentleman who did the 4 directions, what I see in the Metta Sutra is the 4 directions. And it was really more, because it was north, east, south, west, and it was above and below, and everywhere. This new thought, ageless wisdom, is everywhere, and it's so valuable if we take this to heart. What it asks us is to suffuse love into everything. It says, let wisdom and compassion guide all activity. Cherish all living things, suffusing love over the entire world, above, below, and all around, without limit. Without limit. So let us cultivate an infinite goodwill toward the whole world. And we do that. That's our thread. That's our call. Something is calling us to live that infinite love, to live that infinite place. And it's like that commercial. It's like, what's in your wallet? Well, what's in your lunchbox? Something scrumptious, right? Something scrumptious, suffused with love. What's in our lunchbox? Something scrumptious. Yes? Yes? Great. Let's take that to heart and just know that we're loved and we're cherished, and that let's go ahead and we'll turn within, that there is something scrumptious that is calling us, that's within. And just trusting and knowing that it is all around this divine energy, that there is the infinite source and supply, the divine source is all. And it is truly a blessing. There are total bountiful and blissful and beautiful blessings which are filling this universal love, this universal experience of the presence and power, and knowing that there is the infinite flow, much like the river, already flowing. So there is this stream of consciousness, and knowing that there is that which is so beautiful and so true, and allowing and revealing itself as wholeness. And so knowing that I am in this unified field, this connection, that all is well, that all is whole, that there is complete and total love and peace and serenity. And it is filled with so many beautiful colors and thread through all this synthesis of the spiritual nature of who I am. And knowing that each and every individual, each and every unique quality is fully and creatively expressed with joy, with passion and compassion, and allowing for this place of grace to just flow in the overflow and living in this amazing life, and taking this energy, this divine energy, with us, that is within us all the time, and just noticing and being aware and allowing it to unfold, and knowing that there is the divine unfoldment with grace, with ease, and with this powerful place of love. And I'm grateful for this day, grateful for the connection, grateful for the divine essence in each and every one. And I release this word knowing it is done, it is complete, and it is whole. And so be it, and so it is.